Hello, everyone. Yes, I am going to be talking about the much anticipated collab of the decade, as some people are calling it, the Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga collaboration Rain on Me, which is the second single from Lady Gaga's sixth studio album, Chromatica, which will be coming out next week. So excited for this release. It's been a little while since I've been really hyped for an album release. It feels like things have been kind of slower lately. And I just wanted to, of course, give my thoughts on this track before next week when I give the review of that album. I have already reviewed Stupid Love, so if you want to see that review, I'll link it in the description. I like Stupid Love. It wasn't a song that I felt that strongly about either way. It kind of was just there. And it just felt like an appetite teaser. It didn't really feel like a song of real meat or substance. I have to be honest with you. So, Rain on Me as the second single, I think, is a smart choice. This is a song that is even more so solidifying Gaga's return to EDM house inspired electronic dance music. As you know, it's been a long time since, she's really fully been in that territory. And as a Lady Gaga fan, I will confess that although I really do appreciate all of Lady Gaga's projects, I was always really a big first and foremost fan of her dance music. However, I think that's a bit of a reflection of the time when I was, younger and I was getting more into pop music at that age. And so a bit of it's just nostalgia for me, I think. I think I'm very nostalgic about Lady Gaga's pop dance music from like when I was in high school. And so seeing her return more in that direction is more just fueling that sort of teenage nostalgia more than anything else for me. But there's definitely a difference. The costuming, the outfits, the cinematography of the music video. We can tell that this is a Lady Gaga who decided to refine her craft, but make the image and visuals a little bit less all over the place and high fashion for just the sake of being high fashion, and a little bit more pointed towards one specific aesthetic. And in this one, it's very sort of post-punk apocalyptic. We definitely have in the visuals for the music video, it looks like some sort of retro future dystopian stadium situation that we're singing in, sort of like the Super Bowl stadium in the year 3000, after asteroids have come and destroyed everything. We have the rain that is knives falling down, one of them in her leg. Very heavy handed metaphor there, but I do think it serves the lyrics obviously very well, as this song is titled Rain on Me. The song is about, well, it's about a lot of things. Rain on me, negativity. I'm at least alive. She sings, I'd rather be dry, but at least I'm alive. Some people have said that that's linking more towards alcoholism and the whole idea of like, well, I really wish I wasn't relying on alcohol so much to cope with my issues. And Lady Gaga has been open about this in the past, and smoking and things like that. But at the very least, she's still trying to do her best. She's still living, she's still breathing. And, there's got to be a positive spin to every sort of negative thought that you might put in your brain. So that's sort of the way she's trying to deal and cope with this. And at the end of the day, I see this as a song about resilience. Lady Gaga has gone through so many struggles, being, sexually abused by a music producer, in high school, dealing with bullies, dealing with other forms of sexual abuse, dealing with, the health issues that she's had to deal with in her career. And then Ariana is another perfect example of someone who, she's only my age, 27, relatively young, has already had to go through some severely traumatic events, most notably, and it's actually 3 years to, I think, yesterday, since the Manchester Arena bombing, where it was a late Ariana Grande concert. And so it's been 3 years since that tragic concert incident. And, for Ariana, I think that she's still healing from that. Like, that was just, I mean, for the music community and everyone at large, that was such a traumatic event to hear about and to be a part of for those who had to be there. And also, she had to deal with the passing of her ex-boyfriend, Mac Miller, from a drug overdose. There were a lot of, difficult things, her whirlwind relationship with Pete Davidson. So she's definitely been through the ringer in the last few years. And, for all that it might seem like life of a pop star is all like fun and games, like there's a lot of hard stuff that you end up dealing with that, of course, we all might have to deal with. But the added pressure of being a pop star, particularly with the Manchester incident, those things weigh very heavily on the psyche of someone like Ariana, who deeply, deeply cares about people. And I think that this was a perfect pairing for the two of them. I think the production on this track suits them both really well. Their vocal pairings are very, very good together. I think that, Lady Gaga's more diva belting voice is so welcome and refreshing over that four on the floor house dance beat. And then Ariana is more suited to that. We're kind of used to hearing Ariana go more in that lane with her more recent stuff. So it sort of feels a little bit more at home and welcomed for her. But that's just because we're more used to hearing Ariana's very smooth, high tones, kind of running over the riffs of those kinds of melodies and beats. But Lady Gaga pairing that with her, it's a real nostalgic throwback for a lot of us. I mean, Lady Gaga hasn't sounded this like sort of 90s diva dance floor savvy in a long time. I especially do enjoy the spoken word parts that Lady Gaga used to do a lot on her songs. Think Born This Way, Bad Romance, Dance in the Dark. She did that on Art Pop quite a lot as well. It's almost funny when they do the Rain on Me. I think she's sort of doing like, and I don't think it's purposeful or what have you, but it's almost like a British accent if you listen to it. Rain on me. Like I hear it in more of a British accent than rain on me. Like it's not as, the harsher sounds are not there. And I don't think that might be just me, my brain interpreting it that way, but it does sort of sound like a bit like a British accent to me when she's kind of done that very haute couture, drag race, runway, eleganza type of voice. Serving for the gods, that kind of drawn out aesthetic. And so we definitely are getting back into that territory, which, I will always, I think, be a fan of, even if it sometimes can come across a little cheesy. I think that was the issue with art pop for me, is that I felt like some of that was almost over relied on as an aesthetic that felt over the top in that direction. And I did think it was a little cheesy in parts. But at the same time, I couldn't really tell if the tongue-in-cheek behind it was like almost trying to be subversive, like she was trying to poke fun at this, or if she was truly trying to seriously pay homage to this type of fashion art house style of pop music. I was a little bit, torn on certain songs in the art pop area because of that. But on Rain on Me, it's a little clearer that I think, this song is obviously been made for the gay clubs, which I think is something that Lady Gaga, is always fit like a glove to. And I think that we'll be hearing this song used in particularly gay culture for quite some time, pop culture. The groove they conjure up with the electronics is infectious. I mean, they really know what they're doing. You can tell that this is masterful, EDM production here. Teardrops on my face, water like misery, let it wash away my sins. It's like a baptism, I think I did watch Lady Gaga's Zane Lowe interview, and I was blown away by the depth that she was able to articulate for us about some of these difficult mental health issues she's been struggling with. It was really refreshing to. I guess I just realized I hadn't really listened to a Lady Gaga interview in quite some time, and it was so refreshing to see such a candid exploration of her psyche and the way she thinks about her art and the way she explains and talks about it. And it does sound like, this is sort of an album about music as a form of rebirth, music as a form of baptism, using music as a healing mechanism. And I, in some ways could see how almost every music artist could somehow say that their art always is about that to a certain degree. They make this art because music is the way they translate and can process and create turn their pain into something beautiful, or relatable or inspiring. But I think that it's even more so center stage on this project, and I think Rain and Me is part of that. I'm really excited for the rest of the record and to see all of the sort of catharsis come together. I'm getting the vibe that this is actually a much more serious record than maybe I originally thought. Maybe looking at some of the track titles, I was a little thrown off, but don't let some of the more, fun sounding track titles throw you off. There's really heavy meaning behind most of these songs. And so, yeah, as far as Rain on Me is concerned, it's a bit short, but it's great. It reminds me of No Tears Left to Cry a little bit, which I also loved. So yeah, the ecstatic Eurodance flair that this song has is just on point. And the visuals pretty on point for me as well. I will say that Lady Gaga and Ariana, like switching up their styles a little bit so that they're mirroring each other, I think is awesome in the visuals. The only thing I will say is that, Ariana, we're used to looking the way she does. And first of all, I do want to just say I am so happy to see her with her hair down and not in high pony or any kind of pony whatsoever. It's so refreshing to see Ariana with her full hair. And Lady Gaga actually does rock the pony, which we've seen before, but this time it really hit home. Like, wow, we've never really seen her quite like that. So I really appreciated that they switched up their looks for this. The only thing I will say is I'm not a big fan, and this is mega nitpicking, by the way. I'm not really a big fan of the sort of nude, heavy lip gloss lip liner that, Ariana is very famous for wearing and sort of continuing the popularization of in pop culture. To me, it's very Kim Kardashian. It's very sort of very current, in terms of beauty, but it's like exemplifying the sort of sensual lip. And I don't know if that works so well on Lady Gaga. It just, for me personally, seeing her wear that kind of lip and the kind of makeup that she's wearing, which is much more mimicking what Ariana's makeup style is, it just doesn't seem like it's Lady Gaga to me. It makes Lady Gaga look more, this is going to get me in trouble. It makes her look a little more basic than I think than her aesthetics lend her to be. And so I would have preferred some sort of maybe like purple lip liner or some sort of like deeper color, because that just more suits Lady Gaga's aesthetic. And I understand she wanted to match like Ariana's makeup style, but it just didn't really look good on her, in my opinion. But I mean, she still looked gorgeous. I'm really, really, really nitpicking here. I just don't know why. I just felt like I wanted to point that out. But otherwise, yeah, I'm not going to harp too much more on this. I'm so excited for Chromatica. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this song. Do you love them together? Are they a pairing that worked really well? I think so. They have the tones that just mesh together so well. And I also do really love seeing the return of like the diva voice from Lady Gaga, the diva kind of semi-robotic voice. And it's a simpler song, but it's got a lot of meaning to it, that we all could use a lift up in these times and could all relate to and dance to and have fun to. And I think that this is, a great serving from Chromatica and a lot stronger than Stupid Love for me. And so I think Stupid Love was kind of all about the production, and it just otherwise felt very generic, and kind of manufactured, which is fine. I don't always, I sometimes kind of expect that from some Lady Gaga's music, but it's just not something I really came back to that much. And also, I don't know if the music video did as much for me either. So, all that being said, very excited. Next week, I'll be reviewing that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you are new here. And I will be reviewing that next week. Can't wait. See you all then. I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed day. Peace, love, and light. Bye.